What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So I'm going to give you guys a rare boxing video. I decided to give boxing a chance last night. Okay? Uh, was in a chat group with some fellas of mine, some friends of mine that are on YouTube, and they were talking about this boxing match between Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou. Vaguely familiar with who Francis Ngannou is. Knew he was I think he was a UFC fighter, or he is a UFC fighter. And of course, we know what Tyson Fury is. And, he's MMA, whatever you want to call it. And of course, you know who Tyson Fury is. So, even though I'm thinking, like, okay, why is Tyson Fury fighting a guy that's not a real boxer? You know, this is more of a spectacle. But anyway, I watched it. And surprisingly, I was shocked at how poised and how Ngannou didn't come in there wild, swinging. Like, I figured the only chance he had would be a lucky punch. But apparently Mike Tyson worked with him. I did see some footage of Tyson working with a guy that looks like, in hindsight, Francis Ngannou. So I guess Mike did work with him. Whatever the case may be, he was more than prepared for this fight. Only thing I noticed about Ngannou was, one, after he scored a knockdown in the third round, he started getting a little bit wild, going for the knockout. But then he kind of poised himself again, I'd say, rounds 8, 9. And then he got a little tired at the end, which is kind of normal considering that he's not used to fighting 10 rounds. But be that as it may, in my opinion, I think Francis Ngannou won the fight, man. From watching that fight, I gave him the second round. Of course, he scored a 10-8 round. I didn't really. I remember those 2 rounds I memorized. After that, I can't definitively say which round he won after that, but I do know that after the third round, I had Ngannou winning at least 4 of the rounds after that. Now, I have to go through the fight again if I choose to and just, like, score each round. But to me, Ngannou won at least 6 rounds, including the 10-8 round, which should give him the victory. But we all know what time it is, so that wasn't going to happen. And Francis Ngannou said, I'll put a link to his article in the pinned comment in the comment section below, that he feels like he won the fight. And he said if Tyson Fury was honest, he would admit it too. He said, quote, if he was being honest, he would say I won the fight. I won that fight, there's no question about it. Even before getting here, I knew if this fight gets to a decision, I'm not winning. Not because I didn't do good, but because I'm the new guy in the house. I come here and I just want to kick into people's business. There's a structure of business out there, and you need to do a lot to destroy it. I wasn't just expecting to win like that in a decision, but it is what it is. I do my job. I know that I did everything I could have done. I did my best. Maybe next time I should just do better to convince people. That's fucked up, yeah. You know, the only way he would have came out there, that motherfucker, with a victory, if he had knocked Tyson Fury out cold. And it just pisses me off because I don't want to go ahead and I don't even want to go down that whole thing about Tyson Fury, man. But at the end of the day, it's just sickening to see a guy constantly get all these gift decisions because of money. And not just him, boxing in general. Boxing in general is going down that path, man, and it sucks. You know? But it is what it is. Like I said, man, you know, this is why I stopped watching boxing. This is why I stopped watching, man, because A, robberies from guys who deserve victories Um, Guys not fighting each other for years and years. Fighters strategically ducking fighters until they get old, so they think they have an advantage. Guys bragging about their record when they ain't fighting nobody. Enough of that. Got tired of that, man. So, Tyson Fury. It's funny, in this fight, like every other fight, except for two other fights, like against Wilder, he looked feather fisted. He had the punching power of Chris Bird for the most part. But against Wilder, this dude looked like he was a 6'9" Rocky Marciano. Just funny, Gloves look straight. Funny. And that old leaning and grappling don't work on him. On Ngannou. Ngannou like a fucking beast, a Wakandan warrior. 6'5", 270. That shit didn't work on him because he's an MMA fighter. It's just funny, man. Everybody keep talking about how skilled this dude is. Tyson Fury, how great a fighter he is, man. And I didn't see it last night. I saw a dude that looked like the inferior of the two fighters. He looked like the inferior. So, I don't know, man. Boxing's just in a real screwed up position right now. And I don't think it's going to get any better. It's become a fringe sport. I remember when I was growing up, boxing was talked about on ESPN just about as frequently as the other sports. But you had guys fighting each other. You had real star power in the sport. And it was promoted better. But it makes sense in some ways. In addition to the things that I've mentioned that are happening in boxing, we live in a more feminized society. So a sport like boxing, and no offense to women, I'm just saying, we live in a more feminized society. So a sport like boxing is looked upon now as primordial to some people. Primitive. So you add that into it, man. It's just, boxing is going to the wayside, man. It's becoming a goddamn carnival freak show. But anyway, I see a bright future ahead for Francis Ngannou in boxing. If that was his debut, he's going to be a force. All right, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. And watch how people, but unfortunately, watch how people duck this guy. If he looked that good, and I guess his debut fight, ain't nobody going to fight him. They're going to fight all these tomato cans. And he going to be forced to fight guys who are seen as mediocre. And then his critics going to say, why he ain't fighting nobody? Because nobody want to fight him. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's all I got to say about it. Tell me what you guys think.